Good morning to a gorgeous, bright and very, very sunny, no clouds, a bit of a breeze, which is gorgeous. Day 415. Hope you liked the video from the day before yesterday. I actually had a day off from video yesterday, although I didn't have a day off of work, hence the reason why I've got blisters all over my fingers. And I'll show you what I was doing yesterday. But I thought rather than just filming every single day like I used to, as I say, I tailed it off towards the end of last year. And now that the pool build was on, I filmed every day, but now the pool build is coming to a close, I'll do it sporadically. Thanks to all the people that commented, lots of people commenting over the last week and a half. Sorry I had a delay getting back to some of you, but I wasn't here, as I said to my responses. But yeah, filming the videos. Why have I filmed the videos? From day one I filmed it initially because I wanted to show people back in the UK what I was doing and how it was going, and so it was really a friends and family thing, and then obviously it gathered its own momentum. And it was also a diary for me to see what we'd done and how we did it and the trials and tribulations we had en route. But to start getting followers, I think we're at 879 today. I mean, it's a shame we've never broken the 1,000 mark, because the 1,000 sort of, I think YouTube helps self-organically grow it in a better way, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, to see people engaging and commenting is actually great. And quite a few people have reached out to me in the last month that are building elsewhere in the world, as well as people that are building on the island. So for people to be seeing what I'm doing and learning from it and avoiding some of the pitfalls I've had and copying some of the good things we've done, I think it's amazing. So I suppose this is like a bit of a thank you to everybody, really. I think, you know, going through the pain of filming every day and uploading the videos every day and whatever else, it is quite a time-consuming exercise, but I think it's been well worth it. One, because of a diary point of view. Two, from a helping people that want to do it point of view. It's amazing. So whilst I was away, one thing I did do is all the wood that was downstairs. There's a young lad on the island that's building, and he's not made of money, as we're all not. So to pass on a lot of the second-hand wood to him was great. Before I went away, I rang him up. He's been buying bits, quite a few bits off of me, and he spent quite a bit of money, bless him. 50% saving, may I add. But I rang him for Christmas and said, look, you know, there's quite a few people interested in a few bits, but if you want the whole lot, come and take the whole lot for 800. So I think he probably got about, I mean, it probably cost me about 20 to 25,000, but I mean, he probably got about 3-4 grand's worth of, 5 grand's worth of wood for 800 quid. So I'll come back and it's all empty. So Ronaldo, I hope it helps you out, and let me know if anything I can do for you, and certainly if it's helping you with the build, that's for sure. Okay, so today it's become very apparent that the edge on the pool, like I've shown you in the videos, is going to continue causing us problems. This morning I came out and there was a lack of water on this side. And I was like, maybe it's settled in, but I came out and the pump had reset. So apparently it was scheduled to run for 2 days, apparently, so, and it went off. But what actually happened was, I'll upload some pictures in a minute on the video so you can see it when I actually upload this. But the water retracted slightly in here, which made this go dry. And then the trough, which is still quite high, so we had quite a bit of rain last night, so now we're really deep in here, look, to the point where, let me get down and show you. As you can see, we're actually submerged under the water. So that is the float. So the water tops up when it dries out by that float, but the float is completely underwater, and the water was actually pouring out the overflow. So when the pump turns off, everything should stay as it is, but this overflowed. So number one, we had rain last night, which obviously came into the pool. But either way, we didn't have that much rain. I mean, you think about the float is probably about 6 inches lower than it is now, and it's about currently 6 inches away. So 12 inches of water definitely did not come down in rain last night. So not too sure what the issue is. So they're going to have a quick look at it. The float is definitely too high. We're meant to have about 12 inches of water in here, and we've got 24 inches. Now we're currently about 30, 35, because obviously the issue we're contending with. So I nipped in, turned on the actual machine. The machine had gone off and it said something like schedule reset. I turned the machine back onto 2,500. It lowered virtually by about 4 inches, 3-4 inches straight away. So obviously this then topped up, and then the water came back over the tiles. In an ideal world, if we had 2 gutters like we initially had it, I probably would be happy with the water coming over here. Certainly if it was both sides, but obviously because we've got this issue here, I'm not happy, obviously. So I've spoken to the pool contractor briefly today, and we have agreed at the moment that this is going to land up being rectified. So I know a lot of people on the video said, we know what you're going to do. In my head, I can't live with that. I can't have something which is intended to do something not doing something, and for the sake of the extra dirt, dust, mess and money, I'd rather get it done. So what I'm hoping is that the pool contractor isn't thinking about just trying to do a quick bodge on it to make it work. What we're going to have to do is literally remove all of the tiles around this side here on the side, all the way along the front to the very end, and then we're going to have to remove these tiles at least from about there all the way along and all the way along here, and then we're going to have to cut this shelf back by, I would say, about 1/2 inch minimum. Then we can retile it all the way along the front and all the way along the top. That's how to put it back perfectly. He did suggest potentially removing the front 3 tiles here and maybe the first 3 tiles here and trying to do a bit of a patch job on it, which potentially you could do and it potentially could work, but that's trying to come up with an easy way around what in effect is a reasonably serious problem. So obviously we're going to have to take probably 8 to 10 inches of water out of the pool, which is again going to cost money. And more importantly, obviously all of the dust and all of the grime is going to land up going everywhere, which I'm not looking forward to. But anyway, on a lighter note, at least we know it's got to be done, and the sooner we pull the plaster and get it done, the better. The pool contractor is going to come and talk to me about that today. The individual that supplied all the equipment, Pumps and Mechanical, if you guys don't know them, they're the ones I would recommend to get all the fittings from. So he's going to provide me some new black fittings for these. These should have been cut back. These 4-inch pipes down here, this one and the one on the other side, they should have been cut back before we put water in. And then they've actually got like a nice finish to go over them. So he's going to provide those to me. And also he's going to provide me with all of the relevant brushes and nets and all that sort of stuff as well. So it comes to about 700 Bayesian to have the main maintenance equipment that you need. And one thing that I did, which I've talked about in previous videos, but some of you may be new and may not have seen it, this is actually going to be a salt pool. So I brought in my own product from America called Cidercrete, which is like a plaster. Barbados, they don't do plastering, by the way. So if you're going to bring any form of plastered product in, so in England we do a lot of drywall, plasterboard in our language, and then we plaster it. There's no plastering here. So this is a plastered product. So one of the issues I didn't understand is that people don't do plastering. So this is not like Diamond Bright, we just put it on and it's rough. This is a smooth finish. You can see by the grey, it's quite a smooth finish. So the skill, to a certain extent, doesn't really exist on the island because no one does it. So that caused me a little bit of a problem, but it is a better product, and I think you'll agree it looks amazing. But even though it's a different product, when you do a salt pool, you have to follow a different process. So once you've plastered the pool, you've only got a duration of about 24 hours, 48 hours to get the water in the pool, because that's when the products start helping the plaster cure. So with this one here, it's now chlorine at this present time. So we've had chlorine tablets put in, and we've filled it up with the mains water, because apparently the mains water, the fluoride in the water helps the curing process. Apparently, don't know how true that is. Let me know in the comments below if you think that is right or wrong, if you've got a different experience than I've got, but that's what I was told. After 2 weeks of having it as a chlorine pool, as you just heard, it's going to be a salt pool. So the pool contractor and some of the maintenance guys coming out have been trying to talk me out of it. Not sure why. So anyway, it's more healthy. Obviously, salt on the skin, salt on the eyes is 10 times more healthy than having chlorine put into your pools and into your eyes. So from day one, it's always been designed as a salt pool. As a result of that, the machine that we bought is slightly different downstairs in the pump room. I don't know if I left this open. And at the same time, there's a few extra bits we've had to bolt on, which I'll show you very quickly. It did rain last night, so it's a little bit bold. Okay, so for argument's sake, that there, as far as I'm aware, is actually because it's salt. I think this also is different because it's salt. It's not connected up yet. And little things like these here, for instance, salt chloride generators. So there's a few things that we've had to buy extra to make this run as a salt pool. As you can see now, we're at 2,110. So I spoke to the pool supplier. So I spoke to Bruce today from Pumps and Mechanical, who by the way is amazing, and sort of said, look, everyone's recommending that I don't go with it. And he's like, why? I said, I don't know. They just said that you've got to add chlorine to a salt pool anyway, so, and it doesn't work very well, and it's harder to maintain, and it also burns out products. And he said, I don't think that's the case. He said, I've got a salt pool myself, so he wouldn't sell something if he didn't feel he believed in it. But he didn't even sell it to me anyway. It was just from day one, I wanted this to be a salt pool. So I said, so it doesn't burn through products more? He said, no. He said, you do have to have it cleaned out and maintained every 3 months. I'm not too sure what that is. I'll have to try and find out. But he recommended to stick with it, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick with it. So apparently the salt does create its own sort of chlorine anyway. But like he said, on health-wise and on the eyes, it's 10 times better. So he said stick with it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. But if anyone has got experience with salt pools and the negatives to them, let alone the positives, let me know in the comments below, because I'd like to know what people feel. To me, salt is better for the human skin and the human body. So if I can have one that's better, that doesn't really doesn't cost a lot more to maintain, then sure, it's better. And I'm under the impression it's also cheaper to maintain. So let me know in the comments below if you've got any experience with it. I'd like to know what your thoughts are. But either way, I think I'm going to proceed with the salt for now and see what it goes like. And then if it means I have to change or I can swap back, I can always swap back, can't I? The only thing I do find, obviously, is that the salt's going to be a bit in your mouth. But then again, chlorine water's not exactly satisfying, is it? So anyway, what else did I do? Yes, yesterday, the reason why my fingers are all blistered and in pain. LED tracks. What did I tell you? No, my luck, the grinder's going to come out. It did. So yesterday, what I did is let me show you. On all of these, I literally grinded all the way down the inner tile edge, which, as you can appreciate, right next to the tiles is quite scary, because you don't want to chip a tile. There were a few chip tiles that were next to it, it's grout. I was about to say, I did see a little chip on one of the tiles, but it wasn't me, that's for sure. So I cut all the way down the inside and the outside, and then tried to sideways get the grinder in there as well. So this one here was actually a lot better. So I managed to get this one all done, and it was a lot more simple. As you can see, some of the grinder marks in there, look. So very dusty, very messy, and because I had to use my feet, I had to have water in there, one because of the cutting, and two because there was water everywhere anyway, trying to smooth out, obviously, and you get cuts and you get burns from the cement. So all of my fingers are so bloody sore today. This side was also quite straightforward, which was quite good. But this side, because this side is so level, I mean, over here, the tile's a bit higher, which has made it better, and that's a little bit the same. This one had quite a bit of tile adhesive in there, so I didn't get to finish it because it started getting dark. So I managed to get pretty much from here down to about here, I think it was. As you can see my marks in there, look. So I'm pretty much gonna have to do from here all the way down to get that finished off. And you can see here, it does look quite, you might be lucky, I don't know. So, but things like this, where the tile adhesive is coming over, it will restrict the actual, here it is here, look. I don't know if I showed you yesterday, or the day before yesterday, but here's the actual track. So we actually laid in something looking like that, 17 by 15. Well, this one's turned up, it's the bloody opposite. So this has got to sit in that gap. And as you can see, it fits in there nicely, but you've got maybe 2 mil, 1 to 2 mil here. So I've got to literally try and take the whole base down by 2 millimeters all the way along. Otherwise, you're just going to have that height issue. And then people are going to keep kicking it and knocking it, and then before you know it, the LEDs will stop working. So the LEDs, which I'll show you in a minute, are like a big rubber block. They're all sealed. In fact, let me go there and show you now. Pretty cool, actually. But they're IR65s, they're called, or IR67s. There's two. I can't remember if I got the 67s or the 65s. But let me show you very quickly. They're like a roll. Brass tacks. Okay, right, so here's the roller. So as you can see, there's two in here. It's one strip, but it's double rolled. So it's actually a thick piece, and that is the top. So it's like a see-through, it's like a plastic that will fit straight down into the actual conduit itself. So I need to work out how they're going to connect. I mean, the connection's sideways, which does concern me. It's meant to be connected here, so hopefully they're all going to butt together. So I have to work out how to connect them all, but that's those. And then they come with their own drivers. So they've all got a driver like that. Again, the issue I'm going to have, obviously, these are 250 watt, 24 volt. So again, English. So we're definitely going to have to make sure the right power's installed, that's for sure. And then you've obviously got the tracks. So all the tracks go in, get screwed down, and then that gets laid into it on top of it afterwards. So that's going to be a mission, but it's going to be awesome once it's in. I mean, the light, it will really highlight the whole pool being amazing. So that's one thing we've been doing. The other thing we've been doing, that's the bags we've got left over, by the way. The guys said they were concerned they didn't have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bags, 12 bags. And they were meant to do 2 coats, which they didn't. So anyway, we definitely had enough, that's for sure. Sherwin has been out here redoing the front. What a monstrous mess. So all down here, we've dug out all the way down here, all the way along, because we want to try and get the mud away from the wall. And that's going to be the first part of trying to get that front garden sorted. He's got his noise on, so I'll get around here so I can actually hear. So what we're doing there is we're trying to get the mud away from the front of the house. So we're going to do like a little bit, it's meant to be like a French drain, but it looks like he's putting some other rubble in there. We need stones in there, so it needs to be the white stones. So I was meant to order a load and put them down, and I've not kept an eye. So hopefully he's not putting down another different material, because it's got to work. We started getting a bit of a damp on the paint, where obviously the damp is just sitting on the front of the house on an ongoing basis. So we bought a damp paint from Sherwin-Williams yesterday, which I'll show you very quickly. I'd recommend anybody, before you paint anything, he's taking it downstairs. Yeah, he's taking it downstairs, so I'll find it and I'll show you it later on. But anyway, you paint anywhere you're going to have mud up against the house, do some form of French drain. French drain meaning just put stones all the way down, so that the water falls down and runs away. Second of all, it keeps the damp mud away from the house. Obviously the stones can't, they keep moisture obviously if they're always wet, but they don't hold moisture like mud does. So what the mud's been doing is, technically it's like a clay mud here, so it goes really wet, really clay mud-like, and just stays wet forever. As a result of that sits up against the house, and obviously the blocks are wet all the time, and then that starts reacting with the actual the paint, and as a result of that, the paint starts bubbling away. So definitely recommend putting some form of French drain in there, and then before you've done that, paint this damp proofing onto the wall itself, and then you paint over the damp proofing. We've now got to sand down our wall, get the paint off to apply that damp proofing. What else did I do yesterday? Right, the other thing I did yesterday was the hinges. A lot of the bespoke cupboards that we had built, this one here in particular, we had these 2 units, tall towers brought over from England, and we had these 2 made, as we did with these 2. So we were technically 4 tall units short of the kitchen we required. So we had these made over here. Very, very different, a lot thinner. I mean, you see the sag here, look. They're a lot thinner and a lot, not as better quality as the England ones. But also what they did is, when they put the shelf in, they put the shelf right next to where the 3rd hinge needs to be. And these are big doors. So what happens is, over time, you just get a sag. So yesterday I re-drilled the holes in order to do that. By the way, if you guys do have the same sort of issue or need to do it, let me find it very quickly. You buy one of these. So this one's actually made by Fried, whatever that's called. But it's a 1 3/8 over here, obviously different measurements. In England, I suppose it would be an inch. And what it does, it cuts the hole perfectly. And as soon as you get down to the end of the silver, you stop, and it makes the actual, it stops that little screw coming through the... Sorry about that incoming call. Yeah, and literally it fits in perfect. And then all you got to do is screw it in, line it up, and adjust. So now the door shuts and opens so much nicer. It was like it was flapping at the bottom before. So well worth buying one of these anyway, just in case you need one. Keep it in the kitchen cupboard, because I need to do any more drilling. Still got to get these doors done, but I've got a guy turning up in a minute. I'm going to talk to him about those as well, because our original kitchen fitter left us halfway through the fit and never turned up again, which is a bit of a strange one. So I need to get those 3 units, those 3 drawers and these 3 drawers done. And also inside these bottom ones, we had drawers put in, I just want something to go over those, so we might be able to get a laminate for that. But either way, I want to try and finish those at some stage as well. So that's 2 things I need to do. What else did I do yesterday? It was those. Oh yeah, it was the lock, doesn't it? I put a lock on downstairs. I will show you. It's boring, but I will show you that very quickly, just so you learn from a mistake I've made. In as much as Dion, the man, made me the aluminium door, and the door is amazing. However, one of the issues you get with metal is fitting door locks, etc. It's not like wood where you can chisel them out. So we have the door lock fitted, but as you can see, there's a slight gap here. That's because you can't recess this. So, you know, in a wooden door, you recess that would sit behind, that then sits further backwards, hole covered. But Dion's obviously cut the hole like you normally would do, but I can't actually get that sitting back any further. So you can see you've probably got 2 to 3 mil there. So the door does actually shut nicely. It does shut, but again, I can't actually put the metal piece on the wall here where I need to, because the hole has to be a certain size to get that locked. So that's one negative. I can't actually put a finish on the wall. And also, because I can't recess that back, on the front I've got a slight gap. So I've kept it reasonably loose, so I'll see if it settles in and I can adjust. But I might need to just run some silicone over it, I think. Same that side as well. But anyway, I thought I'd show you that, just so that you understand, if you get one of those doors, before you do it, you've got to ask them whether you want to pre-cut one or not. And if you are going to pre-cut it, just pre-cut it a little bit further to the left so that it covers the hole completely. Other than that, that's pretty much it for today, and a bit of an update on what happened yesterday. Today we're going to be obviously working on the front garden, trying to get that levelled off, because we want to get the astroturf down. So I need to work out whether he's actually got enough stones. There wasn't enough stones, but I did see a brown material going in, so I need to work out what that is. Once he's done that, obviously we can then start levelling the actual land itself, get the weed sheets down, and then get the astroturf laid. We've got 2 rolls of astroturf that have been put in. Negative with the astroturf, they're 6 foot wide, and our recess out there is 10 foot wide. So we've had to buy 2 rolls, just over 2,500 each, 2,600 each, Bayesian. So we've got to run one all the way down, and then we've got to off-cut 4 foot and join it. What could possibly go wrong? So anyway, that's my day so far. So I think we're going to be working on that today. I'm going to work on finishing the tracks here, because I really want to start at some stage, once all the dust and the mess has been made, I want to start installing these LED lights, because it really will finish things off. So other than that, we're done and dusted for today. I'll check in with you a little bit later on. Before I go, don't forget to give me a thumbs up below. Take care. Okay, so we're 20 past 5. Everyone's gone. Everyone. We've all gone. Quick update here. Sherman's been busy, stuck in. So, stones, sand. As much stone and sand we've got left have gone down here now. So just to try and get that distance from the mud to the wall. This obviously, it's just been raining on and off all day today, so we're just going to actually leave the mud here to dry out, get it all off of here before it starts bedding in, and then hopefully we can try and use some of it to level off a little bit, and that'll be the front here done. Nothing else has really taken place today. I've been busy on calls to England, so that's been done there. I have actually washed out all of the tracks around the pool for the LED lights, and it is looking like I'm going to have to do a little bit more grinding, unfortunately. So let my fingers heal. Ouch! And I'll crack on with that tomorrow, I would have thought, to get that done. So, and obviously no update so far on the rest of the pool. It is going to be a case where we're going to land, incoming call, changing the edge at the front. So it's going to be a painful exercise that we'll have to contend with at some stage. So other than that, over and out from Barbados for day 415. And I will check in with you tomorrow if there's anything that takes place. Take care.